Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Groundwork Ohio's morning meeting. We're super happy to have you here as we wind down our spring season. We'll finish up at the end of May. I'm Brittany Bolton, Groundwork's Vice President. I'm going to share a really brief legislative update and then introduce our fantastic guests. So the legislature rather, is on spring break right now here at the Columbus State House. So we've had some meetings with legislators who've been in town for committees or for meetings, but they're not really having a lot of legislative action at the moment. Hearings are kind of paused until after the May 5th primaries. But they did have a lot of action related to childcare and young childhood in the last couple weeks. So I'll just give a really quick rundown. Um, we've got a few program integrity bills in the House Children and Human Services Committee. We also have a bill around vaccination communication protocol in the House Health Committee. And there is a bill on licensing non-nurse midwives in the House Children and Human Services Committee as well. So we've got full recaps on all of those things coming out in our weekly newsletters on Fridays. If you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to any of our teammates. But those are some of the big ones that we've seen moving. When they come back, they'll work on their state capital budget. Those are bondable dollars for state projects. So that will take up a lot of the air in the room. And there's also talk of property tax changes. So we will keep our ears to the ground on that. Of course, any removal of property tax revenue is something concerning because we want to see funding go towards services for children and families. So at the federal level, the president's budget came out, and we've got a recap on that in our newsletter as well that Caitlin put together on our team. So I won't go through every single line item there, but just know that we'll be continuing to promote an action alert to encourage Congress to fund all the programs that support children and families. With that being said, that really quick rundown, I want to give our time to our wonderful friends at Poem with Mental Health America. So, super excited to have Cass Woodward here today. She's the Senior Operations Manager for Poem. And if you are not yet familiar with Poem, it stands for Perinatal Outreach and Encouragement for Moms. So, without further ado, I'll just share briefly that Cass has wonderful experience in all sorts of ways on this topic. And she brings her bachelor's in psychology from and child development, as well as a master's in management to this work, in addition to her lived experience that she's been so generous to share. We are so grateful to work with Cass, and Tulu is also on the line today working with her. I'll pass it over to them. Thanks so much for being here.
And thank you so much, Groundwork. We really appreciate all the work you do. I am on the mailing list and I do read those emails. So please continue to send those out and share all the great things that you do. And Tolu and I are going to share a little bit about our Poem Rise program. I'm so honored to have Tolu here. She is our Poem Rise manager. And Tolu, what I'm hoping to do, I can just do slides 1 through 5, and I'll hand it over to you at the programming part so you can talk about the programming piece. How does that feel?
Yes, sounds perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I will. Okay. Okay. And thumbs up if you're seeing Poem Rise for Black Moms and Birthing People. Great. Okay. So if you haven't noticed, this week is Black Maternal Health Week. And Poem Rise back in 2019 saw a need to fill gaps in care for Black moms and birthing persons who were experiencing maternal complications and birthing disparities at a higher rate than our counterparts, and brought forth a program, equity initiative that would support our peers. And it is blossoming and blooming. In 2019, it found me and my 1.5-year-old, and I've been here ever since. True like or stuck like glue. But I'll just go ahead and talk about Poem Rise for Black Moms and Birthing Persons. Okay. Okay. So, Poem Rise. Rise is a branch of Poem. It was created by and for Black moms and birthing persons because we are more likely to experience perinatal mental health complications, yet less likely to receive quality care and support. We rise as a direct response to gaps in care, offering culturally matched peer support, care navigation, education, advocacy, and awareness, while centering the unique and individualized needs of Black moms and birthing persons. And perinatal mental health complications are the number one complication of pregnancy and childbirth. Studies show that 20% and up to 48% of childbearing people will experience a perinatal mental health complication. This data doesn't always account for people affected by pregnancy loss, who experience a fourth trimester as well. So that number is actually much higher. African American pregnant and birthing people experiencing these twice the incident rates of white counterparts. Perinatal mental health complications in Black mothers and birthing persons. So 50% of Black birthing persons will experience a perinatal mental health complication, and we're two times more likely to report suicide ideation. College-educated Black birthing persons are still five times more likely to die in pregnancy and postpartum. And I just want to recognize one midwife that we lost recently who was such a huge advocate in that space for Black moms, lost her life. And it was a blow to our community, but also another hat of awareness that this work is needed, it's necessary, and will continue for those that are in this space because we know that it's needed. And BIPOC persons are three to four times more likely to experience perinatal mental health complications as well, and two to three times more likely to die in pregnancy or postpartum, and but are still less likely to receive quality care and treatment. And I'm so sorry. Is that okay? Good. I heard a sound coming through. All right. So, our program centers around peer support. And if you are aware of peer-to-peer support, it's really those with lived experience who've recovered, who are now paying it forward, bringing in and calling in those who are walking that same path. We come alongside our peers to say, I was there and I'm here now, and my recovery can be a light for you and a piece of strength that you can borrow to walk your journey. Mental health support services should address a person as a whole person while considering systems of oppression and the impacts of the environment. The cultural stigma around mental health is big. Supports and relationships, access to care, affordability, and availability of Black maternal health or mental health providers are components that are very important in this work. When support services fit the social cultural needs of populations served, there is a higher chance that people will engage in care. Peer support for Black birthing persons can help restore community mistrust of clinicians and healthcare systems due to historical traumas and present individual, institutional, and systemic racism. Okay, culturally matched care. One unique thing, part of our program is to make sure that we stand in that space of is, would you prefer culturally matched care to help bridge gaps that you might be experiencing? And we're finding that the more that we lean into that space, the more better out or the better outcomes that we are having. With Pomerize, peer support, care navigation, and mentorship is all provided by and for Black birthing persons. Support groups for Black moms and birthing persons on our Monday nights and our second and fourth Saturdays. And child care is provided for those second and fourth Saturdays. And then we have a referral network of Black maternal mental health providers. And one of the reasons why I popped in at 9:30 today is I was with one of those providers this morning. And I know how important it is for us to keep those appointments. So make sure I take care of myself because I am one of the moms we serve. Okay, and I want to hand it over to Tolu to talk more about the programming and all the wonderful pieces of poem that you can participate in.
All right. And thank you, Cass. You truly have just gone over the super importance of our work and why we need to be present as peer supporters, as the moms that we serve. Um, so just in our Rise division, we have a lot of activities and events to make sure that we are in the same spot, we are in the same space as the moms and birthing people that we serve. So in addition to, what Cass mentioned, our support groups, linking moms and birthing people up with providers who are culturally, going to understand what they're going through. We also, try to host different events throughout the year just to bring us together, to kind of create that village as well and to give our moms and birthing people the opportunity to, link with other people and kind of flesh their village out. So um, we focus on, education, awareness, and outreach. One of the things that we have recurring every year is a Let's Talk About It event. As you can see on that picture on the top left there, we try to, make an event where we have fellow Black professionals, mental health professionals come in and talk about what it looks like to navigate the space of finding that care as a Black mom or birthing person. So just talking about, avenues for support, how to kind of get your foot in that door, how to advocate for ourselves as well. That is super, super important. It also gives our Black moms and birthing people a space to ask questions to professionals that they may not be comfortable asking, otherwise. So we really value that space just to have an authentic, back and forth between professionals and the people that they serve. On the right there, you could see a beautiful picture of all of us, the the RISE team there. That was for Black Maternal Mental Health Week. Um, that occurs July 19th to the 25th. We also host a lot of our Let's Talk About It events during that time. And we definitely have a whole lot that we are planning for this year. So stay tuned for that. So we collaborate with several other mental health providers to, bring these events to life and to make sure that we have that space for Black moms and birthing people to learn a little bit more about, how to get that support. And then the bottom picture there, just one of my favorites. Every year we try to host a Rise at the Park event. So what that looks like is all of our mamas and birthing people um, meeting together at a park. It's just kind of like our cookout. It's our space to just hang out. We grow food, we laugh, we have fun. We also bring our kids, as you can see from the picture, and we usually, try to host it somewhere with a playground so that our babies are playing, they're having fun, and then we are also having our space to bond, to rest, to commune with each other. So we love those events because it kind of um, brings what we're doing outside of like the internet and outside of the phone, and it brings it to life in person. Yeah, thank you, Cass. Oh, and we can, yep, there we go. Thank you. Um, the next one of the other things that we do is our Real Stories with Rise. So Real Stories with Rise spotlights the stories from our mamas and birthing people from our Poem Rise community. Black, pregnant, and postpartum birthing people, and this includes people who have, experienced infertility or perinatal or infant loss, and they are a part of our community as well. We provide a space to share that journey with their perinatal mental health. This is a call to raise awareness around these experiences and to allow our stories to be heard. It is so powerful and moving to hear the story of someone who has gone through something, straight from their mouth, and to know that you're not alone in it. So that's why we do that. And impact that matters. These are some quotes from our participants, some of the people that we have touched and that we have supported. Um, I'll read some of them out to you here. It gave us the opportunity to speak up about the concerns that we have without feeling like no one is listening. Finally, a space to be heard. Poem Rise gave me the ability to openly share and ask questions amongst women that look like me and have some shared live experiences as I do. And finally, Poem Rise support group provided a safe space for my baby and I. The staff and volunteers created an atmosphere that was pure and made me feel as though I wasn't alone in this journey. I was able to vent, cry, laugh, assist other expecting mothers, get guidance and assistance from seasoned mothers, advice on daycares, talk about medical experiences, and more with other mothers who look like me. It was a judge-free support zone, and I needed that. As you can see, the theme throughout these quotes is being heard, being seen, and being in a space with people who look like us, who have been through similar experiences, and who are going to support without judgment. And that is truly the heart of Rise. Thank you, Cass.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'll take this last slide. Thank you, Tolu. Excellent work. And now that you're leading all those programs this year. And then some of our 24 or 2024 statistics. We celebrated our fifth year anniversary back in 2024. And in that year, we served 608 Home Rise moms and birthing persons. We served more than that, but we made sure that 608 of them got connected to better care or greater care. 96 participants attended at least one of our in-person events. And then 124 Rise moms and birthing persons were verified as connected to the care that we bridge the gap with. So lots of work that we're doing there. And I just appreciate this time to share this information. I don't know if there's Q&A, but just thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Cass and Tolu. We can absolutely do Q&A if folks want to pop off mute, they're welcome to, or if folks are more comfortable with the chat, that's fine too. I'm amazed at the number of folks served. I I'm curious while folks are thinking if there's any type of not like exact numbers, but like a geographic breakdown. Is this statewide, Cass? Are folks accessing
Mhm.
from all over beyond Columbus as well?
Oh, yeah, great question. So we are statewide. The bulk of our um, referrals do come from Central Ohio, but now that we're building Dayton and Cincinnati, we're seeing this Southwest surge of peers that need support. So any of you who have partners in Cincinnati or Dayton that are looking for care that is specialized and culturally connected, hey, Poem Rise is there. We have three coordinators? We have two coordinators in Dayton and two coordinators in Cincinnati, and we'll be hiring a Southwest manager soon. So it's coming in. But yep, all of Ohio.
That is great news that you're in a growing phase too in some of those regions. That's fantastic. And I know we've got partners on from all over the state, so this is a great opportunity hopefully to help share the word.
And Tolu,
Um,
if you're able to drop some of those links in there, like our referral and stuff, that'd be great.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed.
and we'll share out the slides and make sure we grab those links too for eBlast so folks can feel free to copy things and put them in their newsletters and things like that too. Are you able to either post the slides? Yes, absolutely. We will get those slides to you afterwards. Thanks for asking. Um, we have a good amount of advocates on the line who are always ready and willing to take action on policy asks. Is there any ask you would like for our folks to consider? Anything happening at the state house or federal level that you'd like them to activate on? Not to put you on the spot. I know there are some folks on here who've advocated on the HCR 12 legislation that Reps Ray and Simani introduced in the House, which is more of an awareness piece around perinatal mental health, um, that I think is still sitting in the House. I don't think it's passed out of the chamber yet. Um, oh, and there's a note here, integration of support for with Zoom has been really helpful for moms who are not in Columbus. Yeah, it's a great shout out.
And a
Wonderful.
shout out to Arjanice. She's actually a home mom who became a support group facilitator. We are so proud of you, Arjanice. So thanks for all that you do.
Incredible.
I have a question. What do you think is a challenge as to why many Black moms don't get that like added support or seek the support for mental health services after pregnancy or during pregnancy?
Mhm. And Tola, I want to tag you in for your thoughts too. Thank you so much, Dominique, for that question. From my personal experience in sitting with my peers, one big hindrance is the stigma. So there is a an air that Black women shouldn't feel pain or that we don't feel pain. So there's a medical a medical miss there historically, and then it's transitioned and kind of interwebed into uh, mental health or just fatigue in the care system and then systemic issues. So there's this idea that I don't want to bother anybody if I ask for help. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to burden anyone. And so that stigma we notice in our work is broken down when you build community around needs because we talk, we're peer to peer. It's not clinician, PhD, and mom, it's mom to mom, it's grandma, niece, cousin. And with that community care, we get those conversations going to kind of break through that stigma. And then what I'm also seeing, I'm just going to use the best word that comes to mind would be just ignorance. There's a general like unknowing of the truths about mental health and the symptoms and signs. Some of the presenting signs of mental health complications are looked at as, oh, that she's just angry, or oh, she's just, it's kind of cast off as like personality issues or whatever. Well, no, you're actually displaying symptoms that can be treated. So that you got two things, the stigma of it all that impacts the individual and their choice to go, and then the ignorance on the other side of those who could be a helper, could be a bridge, where they don't really recognize that this is something that is treatable and you can recover from it. And how our care intervenes is to educate, break down the ignorance of it all. Like, oh no, you are showing signs of depression, perinatal OCD, psychosis, even, and there is treatment, and treatment can lead to me today, free and recovered. It can lead to recovery. And then the other side of community, helping moms make that decision to choose the care path that works best for them. So I won't take up more time, but I'll pass it to Tolu to see if you could add to that. Thank you, Dominique.
Yes, yes, indeed. And thank you, Cass. A big part of why it is so much harder for Black moms and birthing people to get access to that care, like Cass said, is that stigma. Um, I remember when I gave birth and I was struggling mentally, I went to my 6 week checkup, and I was scared. I was scared to be honest because I didn't know what was going to happen to me or to my baby if I shared that I was struggling. Um, we know that there is just a lot of medical racism that occurs. We also know that there's a lot of just unfair involving of child protective services, especially when it comes to Black moms and birthing people. So there's just that fear of, I don't know what's going to happen if I'm honest. I don't know if this person is going to hear me. That is a big part of it. And then I think just culturally, as Black people, we tend to rely on our village a little bit more. So in a way, that means that there sometimes is less need in some spaces for that support because we're able to rely on our village usually. But as time goes on, things are changing. Um, grandmas and grandpas can't retire as early as they were able to. Some are working until they die. So there's no one available to help care for the babies, to help care for the mom. Um, you know, there's just less access to that. So we are still operating under that idea of, oh, culturally, like we have each other, but the reality is that we actually don't as much right now. So there's just a gap. So that is a big reason for why, and that is why we exist, because we are here to fill that gap in, and to kind of flesh out that village.
Great question, Dominique, and thank you, Cass and Tolu. I also want to shout out for folks who haven't been monitoring the chat. Tolu put in some great links for folks who want to self-refer to Poem Services, refer a family or friend, and for folks who are interested in volunteering. So lots of different ways that you can engage with Poem Rise in the chat. We've got an extra minute or two here. If anybody has additional questions, we probably have time for one more. And while folks are thinking, I'll preview, I believe next week we are going to have Director Danielle Tong from Celebrate One come and chat with us. So we will keep the Black maternal health energy going with some more great content as we're celebrating not just this week, but beyond. And if there aren't additional questions, we'll make sure we get the slides out. Mary Jane's our slide queen. We'll get those, the link out. And then here is also a link. Amazing support group, Spanish speaking supports as well, Dayton support information. So lots of really great specific targeted materials on y'all's website. And we'll make sure we get the links out and our follow up as well. Thank you all so much. Lots of love in chat and lots of gratitude in the chat for the work that you do. Tolu, Cass, thank you for sharing your morning with us and for being such beacons of light for women navigating this space.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
all.
having us.
Have a great morning. Thank you.